Hey everybody, it's Mike with Monkey Fab. And last weekend, one of my customers was having trouble. He was trying to run a secondary fuel pump, and he had some kind of thing that I didn't understand. Don't know what was going on, but I know that with the Holley, you need to run a pulse width modulate, a second fuel pump. It's one of these bad boys right here. Yeah, so I took this picture and posted it. I guess like many of you, this would be all that you need. This is what I run on my Phoenix, which is a boosted 5.3, and I have a couple external 380 pumps. And when the second one was coming on, it was spiking the fuel pressure. So I bring this guy in and pulse width modulate it in, no more spikes. So this is how you set it up. This is number one. This is number four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fused in to your the motor you plan to power, ground to chassis, and your pulse width modulated signal from your Holley, and that's all most of you will need. So congratulations, good luck, have a good day, whatever. The rest of you, if you want to know like how do I set that up and wire it in and all that good stuff, then we have this here. Let's go to the end. This is just a way. It's not the way. Know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. This is just what worked for me. So this is what worked for me in my car. I got twin 380s there. I think I have one AEM and one Summit Boy. There's a slump tank, and this works fine. Like I said, I was getting spikes before. One thing I noticed with the pump, this pump in particular, I don't know, every pump might be different, is it didn't like to be pulse width modulated. It really doesn't. So I bring it in at 50%, and then I get up to 100 real quick. And that's my experience. So if you got other ways to do it and ways to help people, go ahead and post them up. I'm trying to help people out. So we'll go back to slide one. So this is a wiring diagram. There's no plumbing on here. Just make it easy for your brain to figure this out. And if you just pretend like this is a line here and this is the back of the car and this is the front of the car, maybe something like this. This is kind of how I have it imagined in my mind. So yeah, your battery is over here, ground it to the engine block, ground it to your chassis, run good wire. Yeah, and then for the terminator, what you'll mostly be concerned about is the green wire coming out. That'll be your primary fuel pump wire. It turns it on. And then any of the outputs, whatever you select, you got B12, B11, B10, and B3 to choose from to pulse width modulate your second pump. So I'll generally run 10 gauge wire back to a small fuse box and a small ground buzz bar. And I'll also probably just ground it to the chassis again, because why not? You can never have good enough grounds. You'll see in the video later why it matters. It just happened to work out that way, and I'll show you. So yeah, fuse box, fuse, my main relay. So this is going to run my primary pump. All relays kind of have these, most relays have these numbers on them. 30, that's your power in, fuse power in. 87, that's going out to your power of your pump. The green wire will go to 86, which is your low switch 12-volt signal, and then you can just ground that to your chassis. It's just fine. And when your Holley sends positive power out, what will happen is this will get jumped and your fuel pump will turn on. I like to say good grounds, so ground them out well. And then your fuel pump will be primed and it'll run when your engine's running. And then you'll set this up as your second stage. So same thing, fuse, and it will go to number one on this particular relay. Number two will go out to your power pump. Number three will be chassis ground. And number four will be your PWM signal from your Holley. And that is pretty much that. I think that sums it up. So this should be about all you need to wire it up. To set it up in the Holley, what you'll do is you'll go to your ins and outs, and then you'll select the outputs, and you'll go ahead and type what you want. Like here it says second fuel pump out, and you'll need to enable that. Nothing will be showing here, and you'll go to your pen maps. Click on your pen maps, which will bring up this screen, and it'll whichever you typed should be here. You'll just drag it down and drop it there, and go back and click the configure. When you have it, when you drop it this time, it should show you where it's at on your pins, which should also match your wire that you physically have it wired in on, right? So go configure, and yep, this is how I have it set up. I just have the pulse width modulation guy set up like this. It is fixed 100 pulse width milliseconds, and the x-axis is RPM, the y-axis is map. This is how I have mine set up. You'll notice that, like, basically, so what it does is when my map sensor sees atmosphere, then it kicks on at 50%, and as it goes to 5 psi, it's all in, which happens pretty quick, like I said. But no spikes. This is nice, works. I don't bring this over here because I don't have any need for it to run over here. And if it was like on atmosphere, say I brought this all the way over, then when I turn the car to the run position, it would switch on my second fuel pump, and I don't want that. So anyway, once you get this basic concept down, you can do all kinds of things. So that's what we got here. Hopefully this helps some of you. I have a live demo, because if you don't have a live demo, then it didn't really happen, so stay tuned for that.
All right, real quick, I just wanted to show you guys an actual demo on this relay. It's not in my car because it doesn't really make any sense to show you a demo of my car. But yeah, this is the Dorman 902-310. It comes with this fancy, I think it's a 40 amp relay. It goes in a Jeep. It has a little nub that sticks on the back that lets it locate. I just grind those guys off. And then it has some ends. And what this guy is a solid state relay that lets you pulse width modulate stuff. So like I have it hooked up to my second fuel pump because I was having problems where my second fuel pump was on a Hobbs switch. It would just kick on and it would spike the fuel pressure no matter kind of what I did. So I just wanted a way to bring my second fuel pump in and you know, not spike the fuel pressure. So that's what I have this guy. It's a Dorman. It's about 40 amps. Comes with this connector, these leads. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 is your switch 12 volt fused in. The out to your whatever you're gonna run. In this case, it's a fan, but it would be the pump. In my car, if you hook these up for fuel pumps, that's what I'd recommend doing. This guy is a ground, number 3, and then the last one, there's your pulse width signal in. So this is just to simulate the Holley right here, but generally you set up the Holley, and I'll show that on slides so you can follow. I don't know much about fuel pumps and motors and all that stuff. What I did notice is when I tried to ramp it in slow, it didn't like it. At least the motor didn't sound like it likes it. So we'll turn this guy on just a little bit. You hear it just kind of start buzzing. Well, it doesn't like to run under a certain amount, and maybe there's a certain amount that it doesn't like to run over sometimes. I know my fans are like this on my not brushless, but my GM Corvette fans are kind of like this. So this is how we got it ran. This guy is going to the fan. The fan's grounded. This would be your fuel pump. I'd say use good wires, use good grounds. Sometimes the chassis ground might not be enough. What I like to do is run a nice, like maybe 10 gauge wire from the battery to the back, if like the fuel pump's in the back, and then put it on like a little distribution bar or something, so it gets a nice clean signal. You get better results out of your motors that way. And yeah, so I have it set up in the Holley where it comes on at about 50% and goes to 100% relatively quick, within like maybe 2 or 3 psi, and that's because the fuel pump doesn't really seem to like to be pulse width modulated. I have just regular like Summit style or AAM 380 exterior pumps. And yeah, so anyway, just wanted to show you guys this because not a lot of people understand that you can do this or whatever. And in the on-screen computer stuff, I'll show you how to hook it all up. But I just wanted to give you a demonstration. This guy's kind of backwards how it's hooked up, but basically you just this guy reads a pulse width, so it'll tell like how many pulses, basically a hertz, to kind of switch the relay on and off, which the relay will do. So you can run it in your Holley. You could run it at whatever you choose. So like I said, I have mine come on at 50. This is real low right here. This is like 10%. But I bring mine on about 50, which would be about now on the fuel pump. And then I zoom it up to 100 as fast as I can, which again took the spike out of my fuel pressure and solve my problems. So that's why I did that. You can use this for other things, I guess, but you know, again, I'm not sure. You know, do regular motors like being pulse width? I've seen somebody say, well, I could use this and pulse width modulate it, and then my on my fuel pump, and then maybe my fuel pump won't, or my fuel won't get so hot or something. Maybe, I don't know, but it really didn't like. It didn't sound like it was happy down there at like 50, 60, 70%. It really wanted to run. So do with that what you will. I'm no expert. This is just a way to do it. And that is the reason I did it. And it seems to be working for me. And if that's your problem and it might help you, then hopefully it does. Have a great day. All right. I kind of thought this was interesting. It kind of goes along with provide good grounds for your motors, right? So I just thought I'd put this up here and run it for a long time and see, like, was there any real excess heat or any problems with this? And it's kind of wonky. It's got wires laying everywhere. So I unclipped my ground because I have it just the ground from the machine ground to the table, and I ground it here, and I was just like, well, whatever. But these guys are like super tiny leads, and I can feel the heat in this guy. So listen, turn on the mic, and you can hear, like, I'm just gonna point this here, put my hand here, listen to the fan. So that's just a quick way to show you that, you know, good grounds matter.